One would wonder if the most highly endorsed male athlete could be a man who had accomplished nothing in his sport. No, such an endorsement would never happen, because men are judged for their talent, while women are judged for their looks. Countless magazines teach us how to be thinner, sexier, more attractive to men. Show it, flaunt it, be on display. The message to women is clear. Your purpose in life is to be on display, to attract and be beautiful for men, and your worth is defined and measured by how attractive and sexy you succeed at being. Islam defines the honor of a woman very differently. God says in the Quran, "Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is he who is most righteous." And God has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. So it is by my relationship with God, not with men, that I am honored. My worth as a woman is not measured by the size of my waist or the number of men who like me. My purpose in life, despite what the fashion magazines say, is something more sublime than just being attractive for men. My worth, my purpose, is measured on a different scale, a scale of righteousness and piety. And so God tells me as a woman to cover myself, to cover my beauty and tell the world that I'm not here to please men with my body. I'm here to please God. God elevates the dignity of a woman's body by commanding that it be respected and covered, shown only to the worthy, only to the man I marry. As a woman, Islam tells me I'm not here to be on display, and my body is not for public consumption. I am not to allow anyone to reduce me to an object or a pair of legs to sell shoes. I am a soul, a mind, a servant of God. I don't worship beauty standards, and I don't submit to fashion sense. My submission is to something higher. My worth is defined by the beauty of my soul, my heart, my moral character. And so when you look at me, that character is all you should see, not my body. With my veil, I put my faith on display rather than my beauty. Because my value as a human being is defined by my relationship with God, not by my looks. So I cover the irrelevant. And when you look at me, you don't see a body. You view me only as what I am, a servant of my Creator. And so to talk about women in Islam without first talking about God would be like describing a leaf but forgetting the forest. God in Islam is at the center. He assigns value to all things. He is neither male nor female, neither black nor white. He is sublime above all that exists. He is not in need of us, for it is we who are in desperate need of Him. Nothing is good except what He commands, and all that He commands is good. He is the most just and the all-knowing. God has said in the Quran, "I have not created men and jinn except to worship me." And so it is in this context of devotion to God that a Muslim woman finds her place. She is not a slave to anything else, not to men, not to fashion, not to being beautiful. She exists in this world to know and please God. Her focus is clear and her value uncompromised. It is for this reason that Islam ensured rights to women more than 1,400 years ago that we in the West did not receive until recently. More than 1,400 years ago, Islam gave women the right to vote, a right granted to women in the West in 1920. More than 1,400 years ago, Islam gave women the right to possess own or to dispose of any of their own property in any way she sees fit, irrespective of whether she is single or married. The first time that rights of married women were recognized in the West, whereby she could own and dispose of property without the control, approval, or consent of her husband, was in the 1870s in England under the Married Women Property Act. This act was later amended in 1882 and 1887. More than 1,400 years ago, Islam gave women the right to inherit and initiate divorce. All these rights were given to women by no struggle from themselves, because they were given by God, not by men in power. Islam tells men that they are the maintainers and protectors of women. The Holy Quran states, "Men are maintainers of women with the bounties which Allah has bestowed more abundantly on some of them than others, and with what they spend out of their possessions." In Islam, men have full financial responsibility for the maintenance of the family. This is not only a moral, but also an Islamic legal obligation. The wife may also work, but any money that she makes is her own. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught that any money she chooses to spend on her family is actually considered charity. The elevation of women in Islam is made very clear. In an authentic prophetic tradition, a man asked the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who amongst all people was the most worthy of his respect and compassion? The Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, your mother. The man wanted to know who should be next. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said again, your mother. The man inquired again, who next? The Prophet, peace be upon him, replied for the third time, your mother. Again the man asked who next, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, your father. The Quran speaks on many occasions about the sacrifice that women make. God says, we have enjoined on humans kindness to their parents. In pain did their mother bear them, and in pain did she give them birth. The pain a woman endures in childbirth is not a punishment, but rather the opposite. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, teaches us that if a woman dies during delivery of her baby, she is considered a martyr. In another prophetic tradition, the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, O people, listen. Allah Most High commands you to treat your mothers well. Listen again that Allah Most High orders you to be good to your mother, and thereafter to your father. Once a man came to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because he wanted to join in a military campaign. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, actually advised him to stay and take care of his mother, because heaven is beneath the feet of your mother. The Quran also makes it clear that both men and women have the same spiritual nature. God says, O humankind, revere your guardian Lord, who created you from a single person and created of like nature his mate. God further makes clear the type of relationship that exists between men and women. The Quran says, it is he who created you from a single person and made his mate of like nature, in order that he might dwell with her in love. In another verse, God says, and among his signs is this, that he created for you mates from among yourselves, and that you may dwell in tranquility with them. And he has put love and mercy between your hearts. Verily, in this are signs for those who ponder. So you see, men and women are not bound together in a competitive physical relationship. Islam says that their bond is based on love and mercy. Their relationship is based on mutual care, consideration, respect, and affection. In an authentic prophetic tradition, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the best among you are those who are kindest to their wives.